Hey there. So, I am going through my journal entries, and first of all, keep in mind that these happened when I had no idea what gang stalking was. All right? Um, this is a time of my life where I was utterly confused. I'm going to change the names of the people merely because a lot of these things I don't know. A lot of it is assumption. But at the end of each journal, I will explain to you what the assumption was, and I don't want to get in any type of legal trouble. So I am going to change every name. Um, a lot of these things are meant only for me to read. So I will clarify the things that would help you understand what was happening. So the first one. Little did I know this day was going to be the most spectacular day of my life. I obviously did not think that when it was happening, or I obviously did not think that when it was happening. Was I scared? Nope, not at all. I was fucking angry. Laugh out loud. Anyways, I was at the gym 2 days after I had blasted the iPhone thief on my Instagram. So the iPhone thief on my Instagram was a guy that I saw grabbing putting his hand inside my backpack when I was at the gym. So I turned around and I saw him pulling his hand out, and then he pretended like if he was helping me put a weight away. So I call him the iPhone thief, and yeah, I did put a video of him on Instagram. Now this is what's next. Something a bit odd was in the air. Then suddenly everyone began doing the gang stalking sign. It's this. That's the gang stalking sign. At first, I tried to do it back. So in the beginning, for some reason, nothing made sense. So whenever one went like that, I just did that back, you know. And there were times where they pretended like they were upset about it, you know. In the beginning, I thought it was a game of making you look, that's what I really thought. But here's the first time that it actually gave me an anxiety attack. So it gave me an anxiety attack that I ended up driving 2 hours. Anyways, so the at first I tried to do it back, but there were just too many. Literally everyone at the gym was doing this. Everywhere I looked, I wanted they and the thing is that it's effective. They know it's effective when you look away from it. So when they did it and I looked somewhere else, then at the exact spot that I looked, there was someone else and they did it again. And then I looked away and then someone else did it again. Almost like they were bouncing my attention around. That's the best way I can describe it. I want to actually give you a first person perspective on it, but I need to hire people to do it with me. At this moment, I don't really have any friends because I need to isolate myself so that I can be centered and away from it so that I can make these videos. So, but there were just too many. I am no quitter and I was determined to complete my shoulder workout. I went back to my car to grab my hat to block the people that were doing the signs from my vision. I put my hat on with the visor low on my forehead. I went back into the gym. I continued my workout, this time with my eyes closed. Everyone was doing the sign closer to my feet where my visor wouldn't cover. So literally people were crouching down and they were doing the sign underneath my visor. But I and that's when if I wanted to continue the workout, I had to close my eyes. So I wrote the following, but I did have my eyes closed. I only saw it whenever I slightly opened my eyes. The black guys were being particularly loud. They were trying to create a nightmare. That day, I remember having an incredible workout and I went into my car. It was Friday. I had no clients afterwards, so I began driving to Andres' house. Before this, I had been conditioned to see the gang stalkers via the headlights. I was conditioned to notice the fast blinking turn signals, the black license plates. The conditioning was complete. I'll talk about that later. I was filled I was filled with adrenaline, anger, and determination. I was not going to lose. So when this happened, I didn't know what to do because it just felt like everyone was attacking me. So at that time I didn't shower. So I drove to the Choose Fitness that is like closer to Santee and I went in to shower there. So I stopped well before that I stopped at a dollar store a to get a tripod so that I could put on top of my car to record what was happening. So when I was on the freeway, I swear to God, it happened like three times uh, where there were trailers blocking the freeway, and they moved out of the way as I was driving by. So I still don't know. I am more sure that it was in a that it was a coincidence than it being gang stalking produced because I honestly doubt that the operation was that big. But I am not sure, man, because literally, literally, there was a never I have ever had an entire truck literally were being parked perpendicular right in the middle of the freeway, literally, and it was and as I got closer, it began moving. So I couldn't believe what was happening. So then I stopped my car to breathe because that was insane. So I stopped my car, and then I decided to go to. I'm not sure if I went to the dollar store or to the gym first, but let's say I went to the gym first. So I went to the gym, I showered there, and I even had gang stalkers following me. And you know they're gang stalkers because they do things with their perception. The thing is that if if someone moves at a weird pace on your peripheral vision, it just looks blurry. So whenever someone did something that was on a peripheral vision, it just looked like a glitch. It looked like a glitch, like something. It was just sketchy. It looked really really out of place, and that will give anxiety to anyone. And then what they're gonna do is that if someone is also, they do the thing where they just run, like if you're at a store and they just run on your through your peripheral vision, like that happened, like adults, dude, like adult people and older people, they were literally doing this. And I have experience with narcissism. So before this, I read a lot about narcissists, and the one thing that they tell you that I knew for sure was to never react. Never react. So I did my best, even though I'm sure it was obvious that I was dying of anxiety. I didn't react. I just kept doing what I was doing for as long as I could muster. So literally you have people just like running on your sides and like stomping and then scratching their foot against the concrete behind you, and then just like going by you and then just being sketchy. But everyone, this has been the biggest thing, by the way. The only time where they have actually made me shake from anxiety. The only time. Never have they done that before. Only that one time. Now, well, I went. No, I went to the dollar store first. And then at the dollar store, I went and I got my tripod, and then I downloaded this app that has video, and then it records on both sides of your phone, on the front camera and the back camera. So when I will try to put it on top of my car, but then I couldn't. So then I just began trying to record it. So I tried to record it in the front. Okay, so I haven't talked about this to anyone in a while, so give me a second. I was recording it in the front, and then they stopped doing the overuse of the turn signals. So then when I pulled out my phone, they began using the turn signals on the opposite side of the freeway, and then everyone had their headlights on. So then when I turned it back to the front, I turned it back to the sides to record the freeway on the sides. Then they began doing it in the turn signals, the cars that were in front of me. To this point, so I think that was a delusion that I created. But I cannot tell you for sure. That's why I want this to happen to me again. That's why I wanna. This is gonna sound awful that I say this, but I wanna do what I was doing to merit the gang stalking. Like, I wanna go and be a mess for a little bit, so that they will gang stalk me again, so I can figure this stuff out. Because I don't know. It sounds so fantastic and unbelievable, because I don't even believe it. I don't know if it was a delusion. I'm not sure that it was. I'm really not sure. Well, anyways, so then I went to the gym, right? And then at the gym, I set the tripod that I had bought at the dollar store to record, just in case anyone was following me there. So then I set it up, and then I put it, and then someone did definitely walk in really fast, and they saw the camera, and they covered their face, and then they walked out. I swear to God. So then I showered, and then I left, and then I needed some gas. So I went to the gas station. And then all the pumps were taken. So I was already in the mental state that I was being followed, right? I was anxious. So then I looked at the fucking gas, and they're full. So what is, since I have felt like I was followed for so many people. Oh wait, never mind. Wait. So I am the type of person that I think out loud. So when I was setting up, when I wasn't showering at the gym, I went back into my car, and then I was downloading the app I was finished setting up my phone to download the app that records on both sides. So then I was saying that out loud, and then there was someone outside right by me where I could hear him, and he was like this, like if he was talking on an earpiece. And he said, yeah, he's downloading this app. He was literally saying everything that I pretty much told him, what I was doing. But this is the thing, is that now I know that he was not communicating with anyone. He was pretending to. And the thing is that I believed it. I believed that he was communicating with a bunch of people. Because it was the first time that anyone had ever done that to me. And I was full of anxiety and adrenaline. From, it had been about an hour, of being fear of this happening. Anyway, so then I set it up. I did set it up successfully. But I was just never able to set it up right to get what I wanted. I mean, you're never prepared for this type of shit. How the hell would I know? And I just couldn't figure it out. And I could have put it on the top to maybe dissuade it or make it easier or something. But I was focused on getting the freaking camera on. So then I had to pee again. So I went to the I stopped at the Smart and Final that was by Santee, and then I went to pee, and then I walked out. And oh yeah, and I tried to do a Facebook Live. That's right. I took it off because I didn't want everyone to think that I'm crazy. But I did have a Facebook Live. I think I took it on or I put it on private. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. So then I went to get gas because I made up my mind. It's Friday. I have no clients, so I'm gonna go to the Imperial Valley. So I was coming here. I went to see my friend Andres, and when I went to see Andres, I made a stop at the gas station, and then I noticed that it was full of people. So by this time, I'm sure I looked like a crazy person. I was full with anxiety and freaking adrenaline. So then I saw that everyone was just standing there at the gas pumps without pumping gas. They were just standing there. Literally. No one had their card in there. And then I walked out of my car and then I told some fat woman. I told her I told her, do you have a lot left? And she was like, and I don't remember what she said. But then I said, if you're all getting gas, why is no one actually pumping gas in their car? And I started to let everyone just pull out their car and put it in the freaking gas pump. And after that, and then the woman she pulled out a fucking taser, and I was like, you're really gonna use a taser at a gas station? And then she didn't. But it literally happened when no one was actually pumping gas. They were just standing there. So then they moved. I ended up waiting, and they moved away. They finished. Then there was someone who made the evil grin that I talk about. Someone in front, and I began writing the license plate. He said, what are you gonna do? And I remember what I was like, well, you're gonna pay for this. I was like, this is illegal. This is psychological torture or psychological abuse. And then he had his wife, and then his wife was like, what did he call it? And then he said it was psychological abuse. And then he said, I told him, I was like, you're not gonna beat me. You're fucking with the wrong Mexican. And the guy said, fuck you. And then I told him, your mother. And then they just left. And so then he was doing the evil grin. I knew he was part of it. So then, I fill it up, and then I began driving to the Imperial Valley. So then when I was doing that 2-hour drive, some of the cars were driving a little too significantly close, where they get really close and then they speed up. So this happened a lot. So that I was so upset that I drove one person that was driving way too close. I drove them off the freeway. And then by that time, since I was already conditioned for the headlights, even back then I already knew that I was getting conditioned. So then I drove to my friend's house, and then I was being followed because people with their headlights were having I felt like they were having their headlights. They were following me because they were getting really close to me with the headlights, and and then I began following them, and then they just went like, and like if because they pretended like they were opening the door, like because it was closed, and then guess what? It was their house, so they got in the house, and then I was like, holy shit, and this happened where I was like, how is this happening? Like they were obviously pretending to be scared because they were just like, like they were trying to get in there, and but it was their house. So what that I never thought about it, but I was the one scaring them because I was obviously waiting there because I was full of adrenaline. So I pretty much made a fool of myself. But I'm okay by that. So I will never know if they were actually following me or if I was just conditioned to feel that way whenever someone was driving too close to me. That's what gang stalking does to you. is that you start believing and convinced that people are following you, even when they're not. So I was in the complete illusion. So in this moment, when I was all in the illusion, I was completely sure that they were following me and that it was all a setup. So no, I went to my friend's house, and then I got in there and I was shaking. I called him and I was like, I'm not feeling well. I'm here at your house. And he wasn't in Mexicali. He was gonna be back in a couple of hours. So then I was there, and then you just start noticing things that are everyday things, but you start feeling like it's all a big a big uh not cold, not operation, a big thing, whatever. So then, oh my god, this is just I'm getting excited because it was so sick. So then, anyways, you start feeling like you hear the crows crow, or whatever name that the sound that crows has, and I began imagining that there was someone making those sounds. So that's the gang stalking effect. So then I sat down and I began looking gang stalking online, and I found this one channel that said that it's a spiritual thing, and I believed that at this point because it felt demonic. It was crazy. So then my friend Andres got home, and I told him everything, and guess what? He did that evil grin. And then this is gonna be crazy. So he did that evil grin, and he told me, well, you are in this program, in this special program. But he didn't tell me any details. So everything was normal. But he did the evil grin, and then he said something in a joking manner. So I've known him since I was really young. So I know that he's my friend. So I'm sure that the gang stalkers painted me in the worst possible way. So I was doing drugs back then. So I'm pretty sure that he was informed that it was some type of drug rehabilitation program. I'm sure. I doubt that he would want me to not be happy. Um, so when people participate in this, you start making connections with experiences that you had before. So I felt that, well, I started having sex when I was like 16, right? I mean 18. Well, younger than that, but I met Andres and I turned 18. I know Andres, I was 18. So we went to Palm Springs, to bathhouses, and and we became really close. He's always had my back. My mom knows him. He's an amazing friend of my mom. I love him to death. So so I began in my head thinking that he invited me to these events with older men because I was being groomed to be a sex addict, which I was for. So you start making connections that are not there. You start doubting everything. So then we went. Fuck. Well, I'm getting tired of talking about this story. Well, I stayed to sleep there, and so when I got there, I saw someone walking from outside the window because I saw the shadow just of someone walking by. I know for a fact that someone did that because it was a person that just walked by. I just know it for sure because I saw the shadow. It was so intense, man. It was so intense. Oh, so then we went to, so the next day, he's very close to his family. I love I's family. They're amazing. So we went to Yuma. And went to Yuma, I was telling my friend, I was like, look, they're the headlights, they're following us because of the headlights. And, gangstalking makes you look at things that you didn't notice before, even though they have always been in front of you, because of the conditioning. So I was conditioned to see them and to interpret headlights during the day as being followed. So then, well, I thought we were being followed the whole time. So then we went to Costco, and then at Costco, still I was getting gang stalked. Like, I was still nervous. I'd never said anything, but then the gang stalkers were like running by the sides of me through my peripheral vision, like running. So this is the thing, is that when that happens to scare you, it conditions you to believe that anyone that is running through your peripheral vision is a gang stalker. Because it's just it happens in a very particular way when it's a gang stalker. Again, like in the horror movies. In the horror movies, when someone runs really fast through the peripheral vision, exactly like that. Exactly. That's, but in real life. So we went to Costco, and I'm tired and I'm sleepy. I'm gonna finish this on my next video.